Is that gonna come out? Okay. Oh, Lancel is already on the chat. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As Rochelle would say, we are here.
Yay.
Welcome to our second season. Can you imagine that we're actually here? We're at our second season of Detour Essentials Live, and we're so excited to be back. We have new exciting guests on board, and to everyone that's joining for the first time, and to our emergers that are with us every week or who have been with us throughout Detour Essentials, welcome, welcome, and welcome back. Hi, guys.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Before we get into our usual introduction, because it almost feels like we really haven't seen each other in a while either, as in the three of us.
Yeah.
But for those just joining, welcome to Emerge Detour Essentials Live Season 2. We're here every Wednesday, or we will be here again every Wednesday at 8 p.m. right here on our YouTube channel, and also streaming live from our Facebook channel at Ready to Emerge. So welcome, everybody. Hi, everybody. So before we get into all the excitement and big ups, let's just do our introduction. I am Naomi Garrick, also known as the PR Chick. I'm a personal branding coach and a PR consultant, and the founder of Garrick Communications, and I help individuals, brands, companies, and just people to be seen, heard, and experienced so that they can stand out in a noisy world in their ideal audience or their ideal category of industry.
It got longer.
You said the introduction.
So let me tell you what actually happened, right? I was doing my personal brand introduction, and then the Garrick Communications one came in my head as well, so I had to merge them.
Merged.
Merged, right? My intro emerged, and that's it. Over to you, Catherine.
Hi, everybody. I am Kathy Goodall, co-founder of Redefine Business Services Limited. I am a connector and a closer. Connector of businesses, brands, and dots, right now?
I love connector and closer, Catherine. I love it. Someone's been practicing, guys.
Over to you, Roshi.
So you're messing, but I never practice my introduction. My name is Rochelle Cameron, otherwise called Roshi. I'm born on the 20th of August, which means that my birthday is actually next week, Thursday. So that is the most important piece of information. I'm an attorney at law, and I have nice teeth. I'm looking at my teeth.
You have beautiful teeth, Rochelle.
And a lovely smile. I don't have anything else sensible to say. What is with you guys?
What about Prescient?
I am the CEO and founder of Prescient Consulting Services Limited, a visionary firm that's all about creating impactful legal, HR, and communication strategies fit for purpose.
I love it. Oh, that was awesome, guys.
Oh my gosh, Esther. Hi, Esther.
Is Esther back in Jamaica, or is Esther still back
in Jamaica?
Esther is a phenomenal young woman.
She is an
amazing. Where is Esther right now?
Esther, you reached back to Jamaica? Esther, she
was very, very far away.
I see Weeda, I see Alicia, Kimberly. Oh, guys, the gang is back.
Kevin, I still don't get my ice cream yet.
Wow. I
We
feel
did
like
not
we
get
back.
Do you feel like Greece? We come together like nama nama nama. Ibidi boom to boom.
Okay,
remember
nice.
Forever. Back to ibidi boom. Ching. Esther, I know them song there, because you know that's from the 80s.
Okay, my young girl.
Guys, I'm so excited. As you can see, we're clearly very excited to be back, and we're very excited that you're here with us. So special shout out and big ups to our emergers, new emergers, and people joining us for the first time. We're very, very excited to have you. We took some time, as you would know, to do a little bit of resetting for ourselves. And we started that process with actually hosting our very first online webinar, which was called Reset.
Reset.
And I mean, right now, it is just so important for us to take that time to actually reset and just wheel and come again. Every day there's something new. Every day there's change, but we can't move forward without taking a step backwards and just seeing where we're coming from, what's happening right now in this moment, and where we need to go. And that's exactly what we did in our reset workshop, which was really, really incredible. We're so grateful for those of you that participated. Just a reminder, if you did participate in the webinar, we have sent out the link for you to access the replay. So check your emails because you want to ensure that you get a chance to review the content and go over anything you may have missed while we were live on the webinar. So thank you for sharing with us. And I'm sure we have more webinars coming up in this time of COVID. It's not going anywhere, but we're still here. So we'll still be providing lots of great content for you over the coming weeks. But right now, it's all about Detour Essentials, and we're so happy to be here. So in preparing for our second season, again, we also did some resetting for ourselves and some big plans coming up for you guys. But we also looked back at season 1, and we had so many amazing guests. It went by so fast, guys. But we had a lot of special guests. We had the Mitchells, we had Rush Camp, we had Terry Carell. Guys, help me out. There were so many of them. We had Lynn, Stuart,
Rattree,
Candy,
McDonald White,
Ayana.
Stuart.
we had Lindsay, we had Ayana. We had a lot of people. We had Gary, Sando,
Yeah, we had some great
David Shirley. We had a lot.
Jamaica, Sandor Panton.
We ended up having to do a double episode with Deborah and Roxy.
And Roxine, yes.
Informative.
Yeah.
And so we are just so excited about what's in store for this season. We have some amazing guests lined up. And when we were trying to decide who should we start with, the vote was unanimous. And so I'm going to allow Catherine Goodall to just get into our introduction for our first guest on season 2 of Detour Essentials Live.
Yeah, it's not very often that we get to have such an accomplished young person. So his name is Ryan Reid. He is a co-founder of First Rock Capital Holdings, and he has 13 years of experience in real estate and financial sectors. He has 8 years as an executive level in the financial sector, and he formerly had responsibilities of leading sales, services, accounting, investments, and corporate finance teams. He's a director of multiple private sector businesses. He did his bachelor's in banking and finance and his MBA in general management at the University of the West Indies and the University of Wales, respectively. He also studied at Wharton Business School with a focus on distressed asset investing. He's a member of the First Angels Investor Group. He's a member of the YPO, which is a Young Presidents Organization. He's also a Justice of the Peace for St. Andrew. He is now a daddy for a beautiful young lady named Riley. So with an introduction like that, who would believe that this gentleman is only 36 years old? So we are definitely excited to have him on our journey with us. Ladies, help me to welcome Mr. Ryan Reid.
Welcome, Ryan.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Ryan.
How are you?
We're talking about me?
Oh my gosh, we're so excited to have you.
Thanks for having me, and thanks to your viewers for being here.
So, considering that you're only 36 years old, right? We really need to. Pardon me?
I feel old, 36.
Okay, well, you're definitely the youngest one on you're definitely the youngest one on the line.
Changed completely when he said that, right?
I realize, ignore that.
So you have to tell us a little bit more about your journey
Yes.
because having worked in so many different sectors, I
Mhm.
mean, for you to have left private sector to create your own company and for it to be so successful in such a short space of time, there has to be a story behind it.
Yes. All right. So let me just give you my background, right? So I was born in Kingston, 1984, St. Joseph's Hospital. Born to an educator for a mother and a banker for a father. So my mother was a headmistress, my father was a bank manager. And when I got to the age, I believe of age 9, my dad, because he was a bank manager, he got relocated to many parishes. So I've lived in 9 parishes in 6 years, right? So like you start schools, I went to like 2 high schools, 5 prep schools within the space of like just a few years. And the thing about it for me is that I hated it then, but just seeing how life has evolved for me, it has taught me to be open to change. So let's just think of like going to a school and then you're building friendships, and in 2 months you hear that, like, listen, we're moving to somewhere totally different. So you just found a new best friend, and then you need to just relocate. And I mean, it was tough, as a youngster, but I've realized where it has helped me within the professional sphere to adjust. You have persons who can't adjust easily, so I've been able to adjust. And so started UA at age 18. Pursued my first degree in banking and finance. Then went out to Wales to my master's, and then worked for 12 years in the financial sector, 3 institutions. Spent 8 years with Proven Wealth, and I think I got the mammoth of my experience there. I have a few mentors in my life. First and foremost, my mentor is my dad. Just going back to your question, Kathy. So my dad taught me, discipline from a very early age. So I was never one of those who, as a kid, you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a principal, whatever it is. And you just keep changing every year. From a very young age, I wanted to be in finance. So I knew from a very early age exactly what I wanted to do.
Wow.
And I think that was because of my dad, who was a mentor, and he was in banking. And I said to myself that I want to be in the money business. I just want to be in the money business.
Yes.
I realized that from an early age, where there are many persons who make a lot of money but don't understand money. You know what I mean? And I said, listen, I want to understand this thing through and through. So I was reading the Harvard Business Review from age 12.
Wow.
Wow, that's impressive.
Exactly. So I really tried to understand, the discipline that I wanted to pursue. And, worked for quite a few years. My other mentor is Christopher Williams. He really, I wasn't an extrovert. You know what I mean? I was the guy who was really focused on being, technically sound versus just out there. And I remember he said to me one day, he's like, the best CEOs are salespersons. He said this to me like 12 years ago, and it resonated with me. And yeah, so he's definitely one of my mentors. And outside of that, I wanted to create something that was unbelievable, spectacular, something that persons would doubt. You know what I mean? Persons would doubt it, like, what this guy feel like? You know what I mean? That doubt would fuel me. And there was first talk.
Wow.
Wow. So I'm happy you spoke about your mentors before, because that actually is going to lead to my next question.
Yeah.
How important is mentorship and what role did it play? You spoke about your father, you spoke about Chris. You told us a little bit about how Chris influenced you, but how important is mentorship, or has mentorship been in your journey?
It's absolutely important because, as a young, confident person, you feel as if you know everything. You know what I mean? Like literally, you feel as if you know everything. Like you're like 21 and you have a one girlfriend, maybe two or three, not me, but maybe two or three. Um, and you feel as if like, listen, I'm you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
We know what you mean.
exactly. And you need that older head, that person who has been through it to sort of be that guiding hand. And that has even transcended to today. So I can tell you that at least 2 days per week, I have a drink or have lunch with older persons. So on a Wednesday, I have lunch with individuals that median age is like 65. And on Fridays, I have a drink on Arden Road with persons who are like 70. I'm the youngest person there by at least like 35 years.
Mm.
So I try to at least get some of that wisdom in my space consistently.
I love that, Ryan.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great, like, I mean, I know it's meant, but it's a great strategy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. Surround yourself with people that you can learn from.
Yeah, but just even, I mean, people don't think like that.
Mm-mm.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about like who is
Yeah.
going to take up their Friday to go and sit with people that are 30 years older than them to actually sit down and just learn and have a conversation and reasoning.
Religiously.
That.
Religiously. I do that. Religiously.
So, what continues to motivate you? What keeps you motivated?
So I'll answer in two ways. One is my family, right? And making my family proud, right? So when I say my family, my parents, my sister, um, the truth is making them proud means being successful. You know, doing what they believe, is right. And then, I mean, the second prong really is, more or less my new family. You know what I mean? So, being an example, for Riley, my daughter, and and really, for Stephanie to be like, listen, this guy is really a good example for my daughter and one that I'm really proud of. So that's really my motivation. And and I mean, I go back to my early days. So I used to like to stay at night, right? My dad used to say to me, I don't care what time you study at night. You need to wake up at 4 a.m. I'm like, but I study better at night. He's like, well, I don't. You can study at night, but at 4 a.m. you're gonna be up. So he's like, at 4 a.m. is like get into bedroom, turn on all the lights. And to this day, that's the time I wake up in the mornings.
Habit.
So even if I get home drunk at 2 a.m. at 4 I'm up. And that's sort of, as you rightly put it, Naomi, habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even to this day. And what I find is, they talk about a woman's intuition. I think my intuition sets in at that time of the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So when I wake up at 4 in the morning and I go downstairs and I just start to think, if I'm looking at a transaction and the numbers looking good and everything's looking good, when I sit and just like ponder properly, that's when I'm informed.
That's your zone of genius.
There you go. There you
Yep.
go. There you go.
See, I'm not the only crazy person that wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But it's the same thing. It's habit because I used to swim in the morning, so it's embedded. How has fatherhood changed your outlook on life?
I wish I could find words to say. I wish I could find words to say. Um, you know, and I mean, even as recent as this morning, like, I got up at, I think it was like 2 in the morning, because, I have a in the bedroom. I heard her crying, went into the nursery, and, it's like, picking up Riley, the hush her, and just looking at that face, it's just like more motivation that I even needed. You know what I mean? It's just unbelievable. You find yourself making more responsible decisions. You know what I mean? Like the decisions are, you're mindful, or you give great consideration because there is someone else that it's a life.
Mhm.
And I find myself drinking less Hennessy now, and
I wonder if Russia can relate to that.
And
Yes.
I see that you say you're now working 14-hour shifts for Riley. I saw you post that.
No, trust me. I mean, it's just motivation,
Yeah.
It's just motivation. That is it. And I mean, I've always prayed for a girl to be my child, or my first child. Like most people want a boy. Literally, I wanted a girl.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like, I mean, when I found out I was having a girl, like, I just didn't go to work. Like, I celebrated.
I love that.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah. Well, whereas I'm not into motherhood.
Yes.
I pray for a girl too.
Oh.
I'm not a rambunctious boy.
Yeah. Yes.
I had to stick to my bed because I had these plans of a little mini me that I would dress in like form. And
Really?
this morning, I'm not a early.
You can't take pictures. No.
Thank you.
That's what everybody
Thank
said.
you, Ryan. I'm glad you said.
It's phenomenal. He's absolutely phenomenal. At 4 o'clock, when you were having your zone of genius, I have mine at like 1 in the morning. So when I went to my bed at 2, at 4 o'clock, he opened my eyes for me and he was looking at me like,
Really? Yeah, trust me.
I have to tell you this. I like you. I like you. I like your energy. I like your vibe.
Thank you
And
so
I
much.
like, how you started out your journey with your parents and the influence of your family. And I know a lot of people, they'll see you on Instagram, they see Rai boy, they see that you put out
My boy.
Right, boy.
Rai boy. Yeah,
Rochelle, right?
yeah. Them see the vehicle, them when you drive, them see you drinking your Hennessy. And
Yeah,
it's
man, yeah.
easy for people to look at that outward and
Yeah,
make
yeah.
decisions about
Yeah.
you. So, you
Yeah.
have to put out IPO. Hear him now, cry on him.
Yeah,
But
man.
and
Yeah, man.
it's something that was just so profound that
Yeah.
the doubt fuels you.
Absolutely.
And I know a lot of people would be inspired by that
Absolutely.
there are dreams that they have that they would like to manifest, but they are so afraid of the doubters. But that's a complete switching of mindset that says, I want you to doubt me because that doubt is fueling.
No. Rochelle, you're literally right there with me. Like, one thing I've always said, think big, bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. Trust me. Because there's nobody who's gonna believe in you more than you. And one thing I think I've mastered is not to listen to the detractors and the naysayers. Like, if you say, like, or this or that, like, I don't hear it.
And that's a choice. You just lock it
bet
out.
on yourself.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? Betting on yourself doesn't mean that you want to be all things unto all men.
Yes.
But
Right.
my father taught me something. He always said to me, let the barber trim. right? So you know what you're good at. Stay in your lane. Don't try to, venture into a zillion things. Just listen. This is my expertise. You can't test me right here, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm keeping hours. That's it.
That's phenomenal. You know, the whole first rock has as you know, because we're emerged, we have to say things like first rock emerged.
Yeah,
And
man. Yeah, like.
of course, because you're Ryan Reid, you don't just emerge little, you
Mhm.
just emerge big.
Out and loud.
Yes. And I know that, you know, as persons have heard your journey. And I'm really glad we started there because there's a certain humility in your confidence, and you attribute your success to your mentorship, but that you're also determined to set time that you find mentors, that you
Yes.
find to do with the bigger heads. So, you know, as we're talking about this whole First Rock experience, tell us about the genesis of First Rock. Because Ryan, I know no local Kaba something you come with, you know.
Yes. I want to tell you about First Talk, right? So years ago, I said to myself, and I mean, this is just, just in being, you know, an investment manager, and I saw where like tradable securities was so volatile.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I wanted to create an entity that focused on real assets, more stable assets.
Mhm.
And I was toying with the idea years ago. And I said, at some point in time, I want to do this thing. And a friend of mine, Brett Wong, had his 40th birthday party. And I went to his party. Were you there, Rochelle?
Yeah, I wasn't 40, but I was
Yeah. So, I went to his 40th birthday party, and Michael Bunbury, who is my lodge brother, was there. And we were at the bar talking.
there.
And he said to me, boy, I love medicine, but I want to go into investments. And I said to him, well, this is something I want to do. And he's like, let's like have a conversation. We met at Chez Mario. We had a pizza and we just like chat over this thing. And I'm like, yo, I want us to do this. And he's like, yeah, I want us to do this too. And we went in as equal partners and we started. And we met every single Sunday for about maybe a year and a half. And when I say we planned this thing through and through and through, and you know, again in betting on yourself, it's so amazing when you want to do something spectacular. Persons are willing to, beat down a dream. You know, I remember someone who I had as a not a mentor, but someone who I looked up to. When I said to him, like, listen, I'm doing this thing. You know what he said to me? He's like, 80% of startups fail. So be careful what you're doing.
Wow.
I'm like, why would you say that to me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I said, boy, I better myself still, and I'm still young. So if it don't work,
Yeah, you have time.
exactly. And I mean, we met, we structured it properly, and in 2018, I, at the time went to my bosses at Proven and said, boy, I want to do this. And I remember Chris, my mentor, said to me, well, now's the time. And I said, yes. He's like, boy, I'm not surprised. I saw it in you and so forth. And, more or less gave me his blessing, which I'm really grateful for. And I started to put a proper team together. And that team comprised what I wanted to be as like best in the industry. So you got Pierre Shirley, who is probably the most qualified real estate professional in the country. We have Sean Myers as a CFO who handles like treasury investments, so forth. We have Christina Garel, who heads operations. We have, Alethea, Shanae, my assistant, Santanio. I mean, we manage roughly $5 billion in assets.
Wow.
Oh,
And that we
Congratulations.
amassed that in that little while, well, roughly a year.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
we do that with 12 team members.
that's amazing, man. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
But you know, my dad taught me something again. He said, "Take time, walk fast." So we're very cautious, and
Love that one.
Yes.
Yes.
Take
My-
time, walk fast.
Yes.
yes. So we're very cautious, and I mean we're aggressively cautious.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean we have a good team in place, and going back to the point of not still betting on yourself. I remember we made a commitment to do an IPO within the first year. And there were many persons, I remember in October, when we said, listen, let's start the prospectus. Many persons said, you can't go IPO so quick. Like, what are you doing? And I remember there were quite a few persons who actually came to me, met with me and said, listen, there are so many IPOs lined up. Do not
Mm-hmm.
go mid 2020, late 2020. And I said, boy, listen, I want to know. Well, we have COVID-19.
You'd have to wait. You'd have to wait.
We have to wait till 2021 at least.
You know what I mean? So again, so goes back to the whole intuition and your gut and so forth. And
Yeah.
I mean, believe in yourself.
And Ryan, as you are talking, and viewers, if you are just joining us, welcome back to Detour Essentials. We are at season 2, and we are with Ryan Reid, who is the co-founder of First Rock Capital's Holdings Limited and First Rock Capital Resource Limited. And Ryan is telling us about his own journey, his journey as an entrepreneur, his journey as an entrepreneur. And we're really having some great conversation with him. Ryan, as you were talking, I said to myself, it's so fun, we always hear that opportunity is just about everywhere. And the same function that you mentioned, that First Rock is pretty much born.
Are you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we're hearing you. Just not seeing you. Okay.
So while we get Ryan back, take time for us. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yes.
So Ryan, we're not seeing you. Yeah, we're seeing you
Oh, yeah,
now.
we're seeing you.
Good.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, there's opportunities just about everywhere, because the same party that you were at, that First Rock was pretty much born at. I was thinking to myself, look at me, was there winding up myself while First Rock was being born. And I think it's so important how you have been laying out how First Rock, it didn't just hatch. You met for like a year and a half every Sunday. And sometimes people see where you're at a particular time, and they don't recognize how much it took for you to get where you're at. A lot of dedication, a lot of hard work. So when you're enjoying the fruits of your labor, you should be able to, because you labored. So one of the things I wonder about, at the beginning of the show, we talked about, when we looked at your bio, how accomplished you are at 36 years old. And, we're wondering, has age been a deterrent for business deals or opportunities? Have you had circumstances where people are like, who the young boy here?
Yeah, man, enough time. So the truth is, the financial sector requires of you to be to have expansive experience.
Yes.
That's the truth. And so once I was able to exhibit experience beyond 10 years, then it allowed persons to have some sort of, trust and faith and so forth. And I think how we structured the company was very attractive.
Yeah.
It was very lean and fit. 200 staff and 300 staff. A lean team. Everybody's efficient kind of thing. And for persons who feel as if I'm young, so no one's gonna want to bet on me while I bet on myself. Don't think that way. Because the truth is that persons will be willing to bet on you to the extent that you're willing to bet on yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And people can tell when you are betting on yourself.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I'm looking at the comments here, and I just have to mention that Alicia has said this is a master class. I'm making so many notes. So just if you're wondering,
Oh, okay. Got you.
paying attention. So
Yes.
Ryan, you mentioned COVID
Mhm.
earlier, and one of the things, looking back now, yeah, it was a very bold move at the time that you did, and people are like wondering, should you be doing this now? But if you had waited,
Yep.
you would have felt the vagaries of COVID. But
There we
the
go.
flip side of that is having issued the IPO, which did phenomenally well when COVID hit. Because you set up this lean structure, this thing looked good, your launch party did nice looking and thing, and then brother apps, there is COVID. As a CEO of a startup company that people are looking on, what are some of the 4 o'clock thoughts you would have had when COVID hit?
So I still go back to tech time walk fast, right? So we've been very aggressive in building a pipeline of transactions. That's overall, right? And I'm always willing to listen and meet with persons and so forth and look at deals. And so our IPO closed in February, COVID early March. So we were the beneficiaries of that limited, time span between when we, had all this capital and then when COVID hit. So, beyond that, we're like, listen, we're going to tread cautiously.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to tread cautiously. And we never wanted anyone to confuse our aggression to be youthful exuberance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so COVID even further allowed for us to do that. And the truth is that I think the team has been very, very aligned where the strategy is concerned.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the way that you actually went through your team members and just described, the different strengths and skills that your team members have. I do also have to just acknowledge and commend you for that, because there is really something when your CEO recognizes that it's a team that does this, and we're doing this now. So Ryan, because how me stay already, me we stay here all night and chat to you and ask them questions. I give you a chance.
I mean, the truth is, guys, I'm of the view that you can't listen to the naysayers, right?
Yes.
Especially when they try to do something great. And I've had situations, even as when I started first up, persons who you had the most respect for, like persons who knew from like a tender age, and you feel as if these persons are like behind you, like don't.
Yeah.
My very good friend God said to me that, listen, you're gonna expect support from certain places and you won't get it. And the places that you don't expect support from, that's exactly where you're gonna get it. I mean, the truth is, when we started, I must tip my hat to Cygnus Capital. Cygnus was just very, very supported. Like the full team, Varys, Ike, Jason, Greg, the entire team was just very supportive because they could have understood, well, they understood,
Great,
what
yeah.
we're trying to create.
Yeah.
I mean, they took a similar journey,
Yeah.
and the truth is, the investment space, I believe the investment space should bet more on the talent that they know.
Yeah.
The talent that they know.
I like that.
So you've identified this talent, then the talent is going to venture into something and bet on the talent.
Bet
Let's
on
talk about it. I like that.
Yeah.
Brian dropping some serious gems here.
Oh boy.
Now I'm going to give you a chance now.
Okay, no problem. So what I want to know, Brian, is what are some of the things that you are really passionate about? I know you mentioned family as a big thing for you.
Mhm. So I mean, success. I think success for me, persons think about, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to make a lot of money. That's not it for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've always learned that, once you decided what you want to accomplish and you dedicate yourself to it, the money will come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't focus on this, oh, I want to be rich, I want to be wealthy. Focus on what you accomplish and the money will come. I think I'm really focused on success. And success is very relative depending on who you are. You know,
Yes.
I've told persons I'm not trying to be, Warren Buffett, because I still want to be able to sleep at night. You know what I mean? But I want to build an entity that is recognizable regionally within Latin America, an entity that's efficient, an entity that trades on multiple markets, and an entity that has a recognizable brand. I think what we've done with First Rock in a short space of time, a lot of Jamaicans know what First Rock. That's the truth.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just the drive for success.
Okay. And then, so I would want to know, um, over the last 5 years,
Mhm.
what have you gotten better at saying no to?
Transactions,
Okay. Just business transactions or personal transactions?
business.
Yeah.
I was asking, trying to be clear.
Riley will
Oh,
know what yes sounds like.
yeah, exactly.
Well, we definitely know what yes sounds like.
Yeah.
Alicia has a question now.
Sure. Okay, so Alicia wants to know, how do you balance work with your family and personal life?
So I'm not a person who works very late. Almost as I work like 14-hour days. I'm very early to work.
Yes.
So,
I
this
see that.
building will tell you, like, it's me and the caretaker first in the morning. Like, every single team member should see me here first. You know what I mean? So I get to work very early. What I try to do though is that I do a lot of, so obviously like date nights and so forth. I don't miss date nights. And on weekends I try to, get out of town and so forth. So I'm usually out of town on a Friday into Sunday kind of vibe. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the balance is. I try to exercise and work out. I passed Miss Goodall this morning. I was riding my bicycle going up Millsboro. So yeah, I mean, from time to time, I still try to get the fitness in and so forth. And I mean, that's where the balance comes in.
Yeah, and it's so important. Balance is such a weird word.
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
really just about doing what you can when you can, to the best of your ability, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. And so, what I also want to know is what kind of advice would you give to a young, smart, driven, maybe college student or a young person that's about to enter the real world? What advice would you give them, and what advice would you tell them to ignore?
Find a differentiator, right? I think it was maybe 2 years ago. They asked me to be a panelist at the University of Technology to like final year students who are about to like venture into the world of work.
Mm-hmm.
There was someone who was there. They're like, you go to your interview, have on a gray suit and a red tie, ensure that you look forward and you answer properly. And I mean, I really got up and said, if you're telling 200 persons here to do the same thing, how would they differentiate themselves? You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
tell them to get there. Don't wear a gray suit. Wear a pinstripe suit. You know what I mean? Wear like an orange tie or a pink tie. Put on some proper socks. When
But since it's election time, a green tie. You say orange, green too.
Yes, it's like both.
Orange or green.
You know what I mean? Like
A green and orange stripe tie will do.
the stripe, exactly.
Yeah.
Sit in the chair with your shoulder or your back to the chair and so forth, and try to make an impression. Find that differentiator, because the truth is, most traditional professions, whether in finance, whether in medicine, law, whatever, you're there in droves. You're there in droves. You're all bright. What's going to make you stand out beyond the other person? And it must be how it must be a demeanor, how you carry yourself, how you communicate. So find a way to make yourself resonate or last with persons.
Love that. That's right up my alley, because that's straight up personal branding, right? How are you going to stand up?
I know that.
And what advice would you tell them to ignore?
I mean, the worst. I think what advice I tell them to ignore is, persons from our parents' era, right? Would say, find a job, work for 40 years, retire, get a pension, wait to die. You know what I mean? I would say ignore that. You can accomplish what persons have accomplished in half the time if you just better yourself.
Yep. And do the work.
Yep. Absolutely.
I love that. That's facts. I'm going to go to one more question here from Alicia. Again, she wants to know, what is your advice to someone not so young who is looking for the next step in their career?
You're alive. You're alive. You have good health. You have good health. If you have good health and you're alive, then that's fine. Like whatever you want to accomplish. Like one of my father's very good friends graduated law school at 62.
Wow.
And it's never too early, it's never too late.
It's never too late. Yeah.
Love that. You're alive, Alicia. You can do whatever you want. She says, I'm ready for that. All right, I'm going to turn over to Kat.
Okay. So my first question, or my next question, is, when you feel overwhelmed or you're not focused, what do you do?
All right. So as a hobby, I'm a hunter. So I hunt
The bird bush type of hunter.
We don't have bird here, bro.
everything. So I hunt wild hogs. I got bird bush. I got beach. I go fish. I do everything to just clear my mind.
Yeah.
And when all else fails, I go to a good party and enjoy myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So this is an interesting question. If you
Yeah, I'm
could,
sure.
if you could put a gigantic billboard anywhere, what would it say?
First rock.
In my head, I knew that's what you were gonna say.
I think we already
On brand, on brand.
I
Yeah.
knew you were gonna say that, Ran. While listening to you, though, I was saying, okay, well, let me hear Ran's story. And you said bet on yourself a lot. So I was like, maybe he's gonna say bet on yourself, but then I was like, no, I bet he's gonna say First Rock.
You know when they
I love it. That is funny.
goes
Love
back
that.
to branding, right?
I know, right?
And, and betting on yourself too, right?
Yes.
Because First Rock is you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, first rock is many of us,
Yeah.
Yeah.
me included.
You included. Ryan, one of the things as I've been listening to you that I've wondered about, spiritually, what's your spiritual journey been like to this point? Because you seem to be grounded on something.
Yes. Yes. So let me just. I'll be very honest. I'm very spiritual. I'm a firm believer in God. I'm someone who prays often. I'm not a Christian. Um, I believe religion, divides us, but it unites us. And I focus on the supreme being who is God.
Mhm,
That being said, I still read the Bible, and I worship, got my devotion, but my focus is God.
mhm,
And correct. And I mean, just there's a saying that says, a verse that says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, but lean not to thine own understanding." That I'm a firm believer in that.
yeah,
So no matter how life meets out disappointments, I still trust in God.
mhm.
And it has been still been the most rewarding undertaking for me by trusting in God.
By trusting. I actually have that verse right in front of me. So
Really.
every time I feel the energy and the spirit waning, I am like, who do you trust?
Absolutely.
Who do you
Absolutely.
trust? Yeah. So Ryan, I know people are watching and they're saying, so I wonder if Ryan has ever failed at anything. Has anything not worked out for Ryan, or has Ryan just had the golden touch?
No, 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 no. Trust me. No, no. I failed, right? I failed my way there. But my first major failure came in CXCs. So I have 10 CXCs and I failed one, biology.
Oh.
So like and the medicine thing wasn't happening for me at all. Um, and the truth is that, I wouldn't call it failure,
Mhm.
but me just aborting certain things. I've
Yeah.
aborted, some undertakings that I thought at the time was, something that I wanted to do, but still going back to passion. If the passion is not there, then, the passion, your heart not into it, and then, you get sidetracked.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think in life we all where failure is concerned, and our belief is that if you don't try anything, you would
Yes.
never have failed. So you've already won because you tried something.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Have to try. Have to try. Have to try.
And I think all of us have what we call like a favorite failure. That story failure that
Mhm.
you kind of draw back onto. You either have it as a thing like you're like, if me did survive that, like I tell
Oh,
you,
yeah.
anything gonna throw my way, me could. Or
Yeah.
it was just that thing that
Yeah.
completely just kind of transformed your thought process. What's your favorite failure?
I don't think I'll call it a failure. I think I'll call it a jerk. You know, the truth is when we're starting First Rock, you know, we're very excited about it. And we said, let us, you know, engage an institution to assist us in getting to the point where we need to get to. And we're very excited. And then just before we're about to launch, the institution said, like, well, listen, it's too much of a risk for us as a new company. You know what I mean? And I remember I went home, pour myself a drink of Hennessy on the balcony. And this was maybe like 11 o'clock in the night. And I sat there. I mean, I cried the entire night. Entire night. And at 6 in the morning, the Hennessy was still there. I never took one sip. Wow. You know what I mean? I was devastated.
Yeah.
And I said, boy, listen, pull up my sleeves and keep it going. I mean, it's, as again, better yourself. Better yourself.
Yeah, and that's so powerful, you know, because if you aren't starting with that fundamental belief in what you can do, then as I say, when you get jerk, you're not just getting jerk, because jerk is a jerk, but then you get thrown down and you don't even know how to get yourself back up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't even want to get yourself back up.
You don't even want to get yourself back up.
Correct.
And that's why so many businesses don't even get off the ground, because they have those jerks and they just stay.
Yep. So that's it. Me done. Yeah.
So true. So true.
Don't want to feel that ever again.
Exactly. Oh my God. Yeah.
Ryan, some of the guys from your gun club are on, so we want to big them up.
Oh my God. No pictures from them, please. Who's there?
Troy messaged me and said that he's on and he sent it in the group.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
And Ryan, we're getting some questions here. Sure. I see Althea. Kimberly, we're coming back to your question. But Althea says, have you made a business deal that you regret?
No. Thank God.
That's awesome.
That's very awesome.
Thank God.
No jerks there, right?
No, God has been kind.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
That's awesome.
So Ryan, on this show, right? So we are all very big readers, and we had spoken about this when I called you earlier today. We're big readers. We're always reading about something to really help to just lift us up, inspire, so we can learn something. We always share with our audience. We usually do a recommended read, and we do a book review, and we recommend for the next week. And so we'd love to hear from you. I know you said you are a voracious reader as well. And I mean, if you're reading Harvard Business Review from 12, imagine the books that you have read in the last 20 years.
So I don't want to burst your bubble, right? So
no.
I did A-level literature, right?
So did I.
Yeah, and I'm a big Shakespeare guy.
If I didn't study hospitality, I would have been a literature teacher.
No, trust me. Yeah. Like, it's like, you know, Othello, Macbeth, the full works. Like, I wrote Hamlet repeatedly. Hamlet. Oh, there you go. So you know, like, fair is fall and fall is fair. You know that?
No.
We meet again. You know?
Ryan, but wouldn't pick like a Shakespearean.
The black ram is taping in white you.
Well, I'm more like
Othello.
I'm impressed.
Like my play.
But I mean, outside of in terms of on the professional side, I read quite a few books about leadership and so forth.
Yes.
I think the best book I've read maybe in the last 2 years, and I've read it more than once, is Beyond Performance. Ooh. You know, it's by Colin Kelly.
Yeah, my father actually sent it to me this week.
Oh, really? Nice. It's an amazing book.
Beyond Performance?
Beyond Performance. Yeah, so it's really how companies build the ultimate competitive advantage. So it carries you through, conceptualizing, launching, penetrating and dominating the space that you're in.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to add that to the list because my question was gonna be if you could share your top 3 books that have really influenced your life.
Yeah, so that one for sure.
Yes.
There's Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's a staple.
Yes.
And I think the last one really has to be Macbeth. Macbeth teaches you, in my mind, about personalities and how you can be ruthless.
Yes.
It's an amazing play, I should say.
I feel like I'm gonna read that again. I have this massive complete works of Shakespeare that my dad got me maybe when I was 16.
You trust me, that's the boss right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to it. Oh, I love Ryan. You just made me like it more.
Oh boy.
Because you know what, Ryan, I think one of the things too, because you mentioned Shakespeare, and these ladies know that I love my words and literature.
Yeah.
And I think it's critical that you did mention, because we have young people that are watching this show, and I think the art of the language and delving, because so I always say that when I'm reading a book, I read the entire book. I read what is on this jacket of the book. I read the preface, the introduction. I eat a book. And so sometimes I think we
preface everything.
Yes. And the thing too is that literature, one of the good things, especially like when you do it up to A levels, that art of the critique of a book, because it is actually a synopsis of life. You are going to see characters and how you distill personalities and from what say, the meaning behind what people say. So I think it's just so amazing that you brought up your love for literature and and the real.
And as you said, Rush, even going through the preface and understanding the mind of the author.
Absolutely.
I'm being able to say that you're reading a classic that everybody says is a fantastic book, and you're like, I don't like it.
Yeah, and I feel
exactly. And it's
the most drab book. I'd say the most drab play I've ever read in my life is one called, what's the name again? Waiting for Godot.
Waiting for Godot.
Oh, yeah.
You know it, Rochelle?
Yes.
Godot. Vladimir and Estragon.
Yes.
That was, let me tell you something. You're like, what is this about?
Exactly. That was and D.H. Lawrence. I was like, guy, honestly, I don't understand you. I don't like
Yeah, man. Like,
some people bought it, but I don't like it.
You want to have a drink when you're done reading it. Yeah.
D.H. Lawrence. What was his book that he was known for again?
The Rainbow.
I feel like there's another one that I read, but that's not
Women in Love, and he has that. He
did Test of the D'Urbervilles?
No, he did Tess. He did do Test of the D'Urbervilles.
That was a deep book, man.
But he has this poem, Do Not Go Gently.
Oh, and Lady Chatterley's Lover. That okay.
That was early porn books. He has that powerful poem though, Do Not Go Gently Into That Good Night, which funny enough is my favorite work of his, because I actually believe, and Ryan, you said earlier that you're alive. So it's never too late. My thing is that right to the end day, you could just go hard. Do not go gently into that good night. Just go hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Test of the D'Urbervilles is Thomas Hardy. Just found that one.
Thomas Hardy.
But I love those classics.
Yes, classics.
So first of all, we could have a whole conversation about
So, Brian, we're going to go into a segment now called Best Advice, where you're going to tell us the best advice you've ever gotten about certain, or You can about different topics.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, best advice you've received about love.
Best advice about love. About love. I mean, I don't know if it's the best advice, or maybe that's a practical advice.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my grandma, from an early age. I mean, so there's a girl who was like, say, I like her and so forth. But at the time I said I love her, and she said, "Well, listen, love is a serious business. You're only supposed to say it 3 times in your life." You know, So I said, "Grandma, what do you mean?" She's like, "There's your teenage love, there's a mistake love, and there's a forever love."
I love grandma.
Oh,
Yeah.
First of all, I just love is serious business. That's
yeah.
all right. Love that. What's the best advice you have received about money?
Live below your means, not within it.
Live below your means, not within it.
Correct.
Okay.
Wow. That's solid advice.
Everybody's like,
Everybody like, right?
Right.
Right now.
which am I below or within or
Right.
And then based on what we know about
Never
Rand,
know.
if Rand is living below his means right now, I have
Nice.
just caught
We weren't gonna go there. We weren't gonna go there.
I need to really reassess my whole life right now.
Yeah, we're not trying to feel inadequate.
No, it's very important. Very important. to live
very
below your means.
important? Yeah.
Noted.
Yes, very
I
important.
think I said that's a word.
That's the word.
A whole word.
A whole entire word.
All right. Best advice you've received about life.
We're here for a good time, not a long time. Doug Halsall gave me this. We're here for a good time, not a long time. Live well, responsibly.
No.
Live well responsibly. I like that. You see, we're all writing notes, that's why. Everybody's hands down. We're actually writing notes here.
Yeah. I love it. We are here for a good time, not for a long time.
Yeah.
So we just might as well live. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Especially in this particular time. That's so important.
Quote and stuff. Like you hear me anywhere and you hear me using it, and I don't
Yes.
attribute it to you. Know that it's
No
in my mind.
Let me tell you the worst advice I've received, right? The worst advice. Never put a woman's problem on your head, even if you're the source of the problem.
Say it again, Ryan.
Never put a woman's problem on your head, even if you're the source of the problem. That's the
And that's
worst
the worst advice you've ever received.
Worst advice. Make sure men are listening. The worst advice.
Right. We stepped out of the best advice category and we went to worst advice.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I like that, Ryan.
That's the worst advice.
Well, I mean, should we ask that last best advice question based on his answer that what he just said a while ago?
Yeah, I think we need to say the flip side of that. The best advice about relationships.
Yes. What's the best advice you've received about relationships?
That's easy.
Or what's the best advice you'd give about relationships?
That's easy. Start as you intend to continue.
That is
Brilliant.
That is big facts. Start as you intend to continue.
Yeah.
That's a money message.
So if you meet me, don't bother try cook for me every day, and then
You can't keep it up.
you're telling me you're still like, like if you can't cook, you just can't cook.
Mm. So all the start out ladies, the start out makers,
Yeah, man.
cookie
Fresh out the
makers,
blocks. Fresh out the blocks.
cookies makers. If you can't keep it up, the butter.
I only go on Fridays.
Wednesday. I'm usually here on Detour Essentials.
Mhm.
But if you ever need anybody to sit down and we avatar, I'm not old, I'm young. So I
Yeah.
could want to be young friends. I like
Yeah,
it.
man.
You can't meet on a Wednesday or Friday then, Rochelle, okay?
Yeah, you're not coming down now. Which night invite ourselves to
Rochelle, that's not what I said.
What
I
you
was
said?
being
She
your
said you
sister.
can't do it.
That you can't meet with him on a Wednesday or Friday because he only meets with older people on those days.
Oh,
So I was back.
Yeah, she's online for
I'm flexible.
Yeah.
I'm flexible. I'm flexible.
yeah.
categories.
Sorry.
But Ryan, I really have to say, and I'm just looking at the comments from our viewers, that you have been an amazing guest. You dropped some real nuggets of wisdom, but I really have to commend you for that balance with the humility and the vibe, that energy that says bet on yourself. And I think, the good thing is that this show is recorded, because I think tonight there's these lessons that you have dropped tonight. It's important, not just for young people, but a wide cross section of people. I know some people are struggling with, should I still be doing this business? Can I step out? And I think too, even what you talked to us about mentorship and the way that you value the wisdom of others, I really say, thank you. This has been fantastic. I really, I just write up my paper. See, Lansdale say a ton of solid advice and things to think about, Ryan. Thank you.
Big up Lansdale.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rochelle. Thank you, Rochelle.
Love it. Awesome. Ryan. Oh, see, Alicia says, first time I've seen you guys take so much notes yourselves throughout the session.
And Esther Gill says, thanks, Ryan. I have 3 pages of notes. You've dropped so many gems.
Oh boy. Thank you so much, guys.
I love it. Thank you. Ryan, tell our viewers where they can find you, because I'm sure after this, people probably want to find out more about First Rock or just about you as an individual. How can they find you, whether it's online or where do they need to go?
I'm on Twitter, so it's at First Rock Ryboy. On Instagram at Ryboy with 4 Ys. Y.
Oh, it says Ryboy.
There we go. And you see me around. My email address is ryan.reid@firstrock.com. I'm usually very responsive on emails and quickly. So that's where I am.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Ryan, Rochelle Reid is your sister.
Rochelle Reid is my sister, the one and only.
Yeah, and your parents have done a great job, because that girl is a phenomenal young woman. Phenomenal. So make we just big up Mr. and Mrs. Reid. On herself.
Yep.
That's what Dr. Bambury says all the time.
Yeah. Now you see, you have people asking. Lansdale want to know what about your handle. Where you get the Ryboy from?
Yeah. So I was abroad once. So my friends and I would do like a boys trip every year, and we're out having a good time. And then someone said this female said, what's your name? I said Ryan, and she said, no, you're Ryboy. You just stuck. As
simple as that.
It was probably like 12, 15 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just like that.
Well, on that note, Ryboy,
So Ryan, thank you again for joining us. We were all so excited, and like Naomi said, it was unanimous when we were thinking about how we wanted to start the new season, and you were a
Yeah.
no-brainer for all of us. I mean, the girls, everybody has commented and said it. You have dropped so many gems. These are my notes. So thank you so much for joining us. I mean, all the things that I took away from tonight, mentorship is important.
Right.
It's okay to be fueled by doubt. Surround yourself with
Yeah.
people that can help you to grow, that you can learn from. Think big and bet on yourself. If we don't get anything else from tonight, we definitely got that, right?
Yes.
Block out the noise, block out the naysayers, and stay in your lane. Know what you're good at and master it.
Mhm.
Yep.
No, your parents are where, and your grandmother. Oh my gosh, I think we need to have them on the show to talk about the
Yeah.
gems that they have taught you.
Yeah.
Take time and walk fast.
Yes.
Bet on your own talent.
Love
I said it so many times. Find your differentiator. Nice says it all the time. What makes you stand out? What differentiates you from the crowd? You're alive, so it's never too
Yeah.
late. It's never too late to
Absolutely.
start over, right? It's never too late to start something new. Live below your means, not within.
Very
So
I have that highlighted here.
from tonight. We're here for a good time, not a long time. Live well responsibly. And start as you intend to continue. I think that will apply to all areas of
Very
life,
important.
right? Not just in relationships. So thank you so much, Ryan,
And,
for
and,
joining
and,
us.
and we can just repeat the 3 recommended books: Beyond Performance, Rich
Mhm.
Dad Poor Dad, and of course our favorite, Macbeth.
Macbeth. Macbeth.
Awesome.
So thanks,
Thank
Ryan. Have a great rest.
Thanks so much, guys. I need to go home
Thank
to
you.
Riley now.
Yes, you have to go home to Riley. We don't want to.
Yes,
She's
yes.
actually
Thank you so much, guys.
all right.
And
Thank you for
amazing
allowing us.
job, amazing job what you're doing.
Here's your friend. Here's your friend, right, boy? Guys, thank you.
Big up G Diddy.
He remembered you, guys. He talks about you today. No, he
Hi
says
guys.
he doesn't go by GDD anymore, Ryan. What are you doing?
Pardon?
He says he doesn't go by GDD anymore.
Oh really? Oh,
Yes.
okay. Mr. Walker.
Mr. Walker, to your man team. That's great.
All right.
All right, thanks, Ryan.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, oh, what a great first episode.
Yeah, Gabby's here, and Gabby said we are off to a great start.
Thank you, Gabby. We appreciate you.
That's my sister.
Yeah. We have some amazing guest lineup for season 2. And you can follow us at Ready to Emerge on Instagram, on Facebook for all our updates. Let us know your recommended reads for our book advisory. We got 3 great books today.
Yeah.
You can also recommend our potential guests, people that you want to see, topics that you want us to talk about.
Yes.
So don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and tell everybody that you know about Emerge. Rochelle,
Yeah.
Gabriel, you're distracting me.
Oh,
So
God.
everybody, thank you for joining us.
Yes, so we're so happy to be back, and we're so happy to see our Emerge originals and so many new ones today too.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
See,
Tonight was
just
great.
come back
though.
with
It was
great
great.
excitement.
Hi,
Yeah.
Deb. Deborah Allen is on. Thank you.
Yeah,
Deborah,
we have a
we're
lot of people. We
because
have
of our Emerge workshop.
Yeah. Yeah. This was awesome, though. This was really, really awesome.
So we're looking forward to next week.
Yes. As we're in our second season of Detour Essentials.
Guys, I want you to go back to our YouTube channel and look back at our videos and look at our intro. We now have intros, okay? And tell us what you think about it. Give us your feedback.
Yes.
Yes.
We
So
need
guys,
a theme song too.
we need a what?
A theme song.
We do. We need a theme song.
We need a theme song, guys. And it's
No, I
suggestion
could-
if
no, I
you
could
can
do
play one for us and send it to us, that would be great too.
You want me to sing it?
Pardon me?
Captain, you know that you heard me. My screen is not frozen, so you
I
heard
said,
what
you said something about sing?
yes, I can sing the theme song for us.
So, Nai, what do you have in mind when you think theme song for us? What do you think?
I mean, I'm thinking I could do a little short, like what did someone say? No, Naomi, Lancel, you're not supposed to do that.
Oh, I thought Lansdale would want some entertainment tonight.
Actually, Alicia said,
I must sing DIY to do the song.
And he says like, and sing it.
Don't worry, I'm gonna start it out, okay?
yeah, next week.
I'm glad it comes from us.
Oh, next week, guys, just before we leave.
So thank you, everybody. Thank you for
Hold
joining
on.
us.
Wait, Ursula was saying something.
Next week is the 20th of August. The whole week is the 20th of August. And on that day,
We are
That
celebrating
auspicious
her birthday all of next week, guys. So Gabby, make sure you bake a cake for Rochelle and mail it to her since that's your boo. I'm allowing you to be great now, okay?
A star was born. That's what Gabby said.
so just
Rochelle's birthday is the entire week of August 20th, folks. Please make a note of it.
Usain had broke one of the records on the 20th of August. And I remember driving down Knutsford Boulevard and everybody was out with their Jamaica flags. And as I was driving down, I was like, look at my people. I wind up like, hello, everybody. Mwah. Mwah. Thank you.
It was all just for you, Raji.
You know, Rochelle, as you said that, I remember I went to a conference and this guy spoke. He was so hilarious. Actually, kind of reminds me of you. And he says he does this every time he walks into a room. I don't know why I never mentioned this before. He walks in and he goes, thank you, thank you. I'm here. Like, you know, you go, I'm here. But he actually does it. He says every time he walks into a room, he's like, thank you. Thank you. I'm here. And he's like, people look on me like I'm crazy all the time, but they look on me. I'm here.
I've been
He is so funny. I'm going to send you a link to one of his presentations. Love him.
This was
And he goes like this. He does a bow. He like goes like this. Like,
because you know that I'm going somewhere tomorrow to do that though.
you should. And people are gonna look on you and you're gonna be like, yes, I know. I'm here. Like,
and you guys are only experiencing a fraction of what I have to go through after our live is finished. This is how it is on a regular basis.
oh my God.
Thank you guys for
I'm so happy to be back. So happy to be back.
Love you.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Same time,
Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your loved ones, emerge it back. Bye.